Nothing was easy to come over in Europe and to make this step. I'm really happy that I did it.
The whole idea of being in Europe and being a European soccer player, I think is taking the next step in your career.
It's been difficult and it's pushing me every day, but it's good.
I see it as, these kids are driven, these kids are, risk takers, these kids know what they want.
In Germany, soccer is an indisputable institution. This is a country that lives and breathes the game, that has produced football legends such as Franz Beckenbauer, Oliver Kahn and Michael Ballack, and has won no less than 4 World Cups. Its domestic league, the Bundesliga, is one of the toughest competitions in Europe, with powerhouses such as Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund among the main attractions. Now, some of the USA's best young talent is playing here in Germany, so we've paid them a visit to see how they're getting on. First up, we're off to Leipzig to meet Tyler Adams. The youngster made the move to Germany in January 2019 after coming through the academy at the New York Red Bulls.
One thing that I realize here in Germany, they're very particular about their rules. There's a lot of rules here, whether it's driving wise or just everything in general. Jaywalking, which I'm from New York, so it's a typical thing, but it's kind of frowned upon here.
Well, jaywalking I think is a federal offence in Germany, punishable by 5 years in prison.
Yeah, I won't be doing that any longer. I think that to make this next step in my career and really test your boundaries is something that I was excited to do.
I did not come to play, I came to dominate, dominate, dominate. I did not come to play, I came to dominate, dominate, dominate.
I've always been the type of person that just wants to be the best version of themselves and tries to get the best out of themselves every day. And like I said, if that requires me coming to training early and getting the treatment that I need, or staying after training and working on the things that I want to get better at, then I'll put the time in. That's never been a problem for me. I'm pretty hard-headed when it comes to trying to get better and being the best I can. And like I said, I don't like sitting on the bench, so I want to be on the field as much as possible. I think, fortunately enough for me, I come from a system in New York that's so similar to how we play here. I've been able to see and develop everything at a quicker pace. The coaching staff is tremendous. They'll pull you aside, every day after training and show you videos from training, from games, and what you need to do to get better. But I think for me, the transition, being from New York to here, has been the easiest for me.
Now this is a question that you probably get asked a lot, but what are the differences, footballing wise, between the Bundesliga and MLS?
Obviously you have teams that are very, very good in MLS. You have the Atlanta Uniteds, the LAFCs, the LA Galaxies. Obviously here in this league, I would just say the difference is, throughout the whole table, it's very consistent. You go away a game to, Stuttgart or Hanover or Nuremberg or any of these places that might sit at the bottom half of the table, but they're not bottom of the half table teams. You could find yourself mid-table or even higher than that. The consistency throughout the table has been very, very good. I wasn't on the field, but watching the Dortmund game, the first game of your season, watching that game up close and watching some of those players that you've watched on TV for so long, whether it's Axel Witsel and Götze and all these players, it was amazing to be on the bench and just watch how fast-paced the game was, end-to-end, opportunities being created for goals, and I just couldn't wait to get on the pitch. And luckily enough, the next game, I get called upon, and to make my debut was a dream. And I had people in the stands there to support me, and that's obviously always nice. Being a long way from home, it's always nice to see familiar faces, and it was great to, especially to get a win and help the team move forward and progress. That was most important for me.
Despite his busy training schedule, Tyler still manages to find time to hang out with the other Americans playing here in Germany.
Yeah, so obviously I talk to Weston, Christian, and Josh and all those guys as much as possible. Well, basically every day. There's this thing called Houseparty. We're always It's like a FaceTime, but you can have
Yeah.
multiple people
Yeah.
on it. We're always on that. So like if one of them joins the house, we all join the house and we can all talk to each other and stuff like that.
I think you should film that house party stuff and put it on Netflix. I think it would make for great television.
Yeah, I don't think it's PG rated. I'm kidding. Nah, it would be funny though. If I attach a GoPro to Weston for a day, forget about it. You guys will have footage for life. Oh my God.
And it's Weston himself who we're off to meet next. Playing his football in Western Germany for Schalke, McKennie has been in Europe since 2016 and actually spent 3 years in Germany as a youngster when his dad had a job at a US military base. And as Tyler says, he's a pretty outgoing young man.
I guess people would say I'm outgoing. People would say I'm extra. Back in school, whenever we were in residency back in Florida, towards the end of the year, one of the kids put up a poll and was like, what's Weston's favorite gum? Stride, 5 gum, extra, or this. And everyone said extra just because they think I'm an extra person and things I do. So.
Have you arrived as a player this season, you feel?
I think I've arrived a bit more. I don't think I've arrived fully. You know, I think I still have, you know, more to give. I fight, I go up for, you know, tackles, I go into headers, I go into everything I can, and I don't really like give up on a play until it's really over.
How would you say it's progressed? Has it been more or less in line with your expectations or dreams, or has it gone in a much different way that you would have anticipated?
I don't know, it's been a dream come true, like I said before. It's a little bit different than what I thought. I thought maybe I'd come here, have to work really hard to get a lot of playing time my first season, and maybe second season get more playing time. But I got a lot more playing time than I thought I would last year, and a lot of trust from the staff. And this year I'm getting even more playing time, so I guess it worked out in the right way. Sometimes when things aren't going as well, the fans can be a little bit antsy, I can say. You know, they whistle at you and they you know, let you know their opinion. They can be a weapon whenever things are going good, but also when things are going bad, they can also, you know, make it feel like we're playing an away game. When things aren't going well, it's a professional player's nightmare. You know, knowing the people that you play for, that you try to, you know, win points for and everything, and it hurts even more because you go and you see them and you see their, you know, how they're upset, and sometimes, you know, they might not see how you feel or see how, you know, what's going on in your head. It hurts because, you know, they're people that you fight for, they're people that you give everything for, and they give everything for you guys, and to not be able to get them points is like not being able to get a kid a Christmas gift on Christmas. And the fans, you know, feel it if you're scared or if you're, you know, willing to not give everything you have, and that's not the type of person I am. I'm a person, you know, doesn't matter what situation it is, if you know, I'm sick, if I'm feeling injured, I'm still gonna try and give everything I can until I can't anymore.
Next, we're off to Bremen to meet Josh Sargent. Sargent got off to an exceptional start in the Bundesliga, famously scoring with his very first touch in German football.
I I've told a lot of people, I can't even describe like what was going through my head at that moment. It was just unreal. I couldn't put it into words really. I think my mind was racing 1,000 miles an hour, and it's getting me excited right now just thinking about it. It was my first professional club, so I didn't know exactly what to expect, but it definitely didn't go as planned, like as I thought it would as it developed. I mean, I thought like I was super good, you know, coming into the club, that I'd be with the first team, and I found it a lot harder than I thought it would be. And I had to start out with the second team and prove myself there first, and now I'm trying to prove myself with the first team. So it's been difficult and it's pushing me every day, but it's good. I would say Bremen is a very traditional club with a lot of history. The fans and the staff and everybody here is like a huge family. And I know that sounds, I don't know, cliche, whatever, but they really do make you feel comfortable, and everybody's there for you and supporting you, and that's one of the great characteristics of this club and the city.
Is there someone on the team that's been specifically helpful for you?
Definitely the older guys, I'd say, like Nuri Sahin and Pizarro. They gave the best advice, and they helped me feel the most comfortable and confident in myself. So they're nice to have around.
I mean, it must be amazing to learn from somebody like Claudio, who's done it for so many years and is still doing it.
Of course, you can definitely see he's older than all of us, but at the same time, that's a good thing with his class. He's not as fast as everybody and as strong as everybody, so I think his positioning is one of the most important things for him. So I'm trying my best to learn from him about that. Yeah.
Of course, it's impossible to talk about US players in Germany without mentioning one man, Christian Pulisic. Christian has been a trailblazer for all this movement across the Atlantic, and it is his success at Dortmund that has inspired his peers.
He's helped out a lot. I mean, him coming over here and at such a young age and accomplish what he accomplished at that time, get on the bench for Dortmund at 17, and I think showed a lot of people in America that it's possible, and that Germany is a land of opportunity for young, Americans coming over.
Personally, for me, of course, I always had ambitions of playing in Europe, no matter how somebody else did. But for Christian, it's been tremendous to watch his growth and how well he's done at a club like Dortmund, a massive club. So you look back at waking up every morning for myself and being like, wow, Christian's playing against Bayern today. He's playing against all these top teams.
I remember staying at residency down in Florida where the U17 national team, we lived together and watched games and stuff, and we would see Christian on the TV, and everybody wanted to be in that position as well. And it's weird because he's not that much older than me, but I still looked up to him, And now coming over here and trying to do the same thing as him, and just hopefully more and more Americans can see that it's a good pathway.
It's pretty cool to think back of how far I've come. When I came here, just a little kid, not knowing what could possibly happen or what really this club was about. They just promised me that they would give me chances here, and that I would come in and they would treat me right, and they would really give me my chances to become a professional if I worked hard at it. Obviously nothing is promised. I had to work a lot and to get to this point. But yeah, I'd say that they everything they promised kind of came true.
At the end of it all, there's only one thing that matters for these boys: growing. How will they develop into better players, and what does it mean for the future of the US men's national team?
I'm trying to work hard to make impressions on my teammates, the coaching staff, that I deserve to be playing on the pitch.
When you're playing at top clubs like this, it'll only help you.
I mean, it just made me so much stronger, not only as a player, but as a person too. I learned so much, you know. Nothing was easy to come over in Europe and to make this step. I'm really happy that I did it.
I think it's allowed me to see how I compare on a higher level amongst, you know, top players and top clubs around the world.
It's probably the most exciting time for U.S. soccer.
We have a lot of talent coming up. I mean, we see it, you know, across the Bundesliga, you know, across different leagues in the world.
No, hopefully we all get to be on the national team, you know, and all the way up until qualifiers and until World Cup.
If there's a good core of us that can have good chemistry and going forward for years to come, hopefully it just gets better and better.
I think Americans should be excited, and I'm definitely thrilled to see, you know, what our next step is.